Oh, what a treat this is. Hey everybody, it's Hugh and Kyle, and we are at the TITLEIST Performance Institute.
Look at this place. Freshly renovated. We brought some of our master club fitters here to learn from the best.
This facility is magnificent. We're here for a couple of days. We're going to show you around. We're going to show you some brand new product, talk to some TITLEIST experts, and who knows, a special guest might be dropping by as well. Welcome to TPI. This is Steve Wilson. He is the Director of Golf here at TPI. Steve, first of all, this is an incredible facility. Tell me about it.
Thank you. Thanks, Hugh. Well, we're about 28 years old. What started out as a test facility and a place where our pro tour players came to get fit has turned into so much more. We do an immense amount of training with our retail partners and our on-course partners and our global associates around the world. Of course, the tour players are still coming in to get fit, biomechanics. We're quite busy nowadays.
It's incredible. Tell me about the usual reaction of a tour player their first time visiting TPI.
Yeah, it's been positive so far, obviously. They loved the place before, but they really love it now. The girls and guys who have been in from the past, who have come in now and seen the renovation, are pleasantly surprised. We're like, wow, we didn't think you could get much better, but you've done it. We're blessed with the amount of property we have. We have 30 acres of turf inside the gates. A number of target greens, putting greens, chipping greens that the players can utilize to get their work done. The main focus was here to make us as multifunctional as possible. We hired David McClay-Kidd, who's famously known for designing Bandon Dunes. He came in, he said, hey, I'm going to take you from a 7 to a 10, and I think he did that. And there's actually a 9-hole golf course that's inside the property, a cross-country course, along with the par 3 course that we can utilize for consumers and training events alike. So we're pretty happy about it.
TITLEIST has been the #1 driver on the PGA Tour for the last 6 years, so there's no better person to talk to about the new GT line of drivers than Stephanie Luttrell. She is the Director of Development for Metalwoods at TITLEIST. Let's talk GT, and like a lot of TITLEIST drivers, everything's under the hood.
Yeah, we're really excited about all of the technology, but what we know that players look for in drivers is drivers that inspire confidence in the address position. So all of the innovative technologies in GT are absolutely under the hood. It starts with our seamless thermoform crown, so it's really hidden underneath here, but it wraps over from the crown onto the sole and the heel and the toe areas. It allows us to distribute mass fore and aft. And what I mean by fore and aft is forward low in the sole and then in the aft portion of the head, so that we can keep center gravity low and forward, but keep inertial stability really high too.
So what's that going to mean to the average golfer?
What it means to the average golfer is that it's going to generate high launch, low spin, more speed, but also incredible launch and spin consistency across the face. So if you're looking for a driver that's exceptionally long, but also really stable, you can find it within the GT lineup. When you look at the Justin Thomases, the Jordan Spieths, the Cam Youngs, what they have noticed predominantly about these drivers is that it's quicker than where they were with their TSRs, and they're able to move into this head really seamlessly because of the way that it looks in the address position. They have confidence immediately, but they also notice the launch and the spin consistency on it.
Stephanie, something that people are going to be very excited about is the TITLEIST GT280, the mini driver from TITLEIST. Tell me about it.
Well, I like to say that it's the best combination of driver and fairway tech under the hood. So just like we've leveraged within our GT driver lineup and our GT fairway lineup, we've got our proprietary matrix polymer crown, which is allowing us to distribute mass more effectively. But this also marries our best fairway technologies from the GT line. So we've got an L-cup face, and as you really seek to use this driver from the tee or from the turf, you get the best of both worlds from it. We're seeing great adoption on the PGA Tour, really in particular based on course setups. You see guys really move to this over a 3-wood because they're not utilizing a 3-wood to go into the green any longer. They're utilizing this to really push their drives up there as closely as they can to hazards, to bunkers, and be able to have short irons in. And what we see out of it is that it kind of lives directly between a 3-wood and a driver. It was born out of that collaboration that we have within TITLEIST between our tour team and our R&D team. So really taking that feedback and understanding where are performance voids? How can we help players enjoy this sport and this game more? And this product is a new addition to the GT lineup that allows you to do that.
I'm here with Brett Porath from TITLEIST Golf. We have a group of our fitters here. You guys have made a pretty significant investment into this place. Can you talk about how much this place has changed for you in your time here?
Well, it has. It started over 25 years ago as a research facility, very private. And we realized we have a jewel we need to polish and show more people. So fitters come here, train, work with our team, come home, bring those skills home. Last year, actually, we trained more people than we fit.
You know, having Golf Town Club fitters here, really learning from the best in the business to take it back to our customers, to really help, you know, our customers and all of our staff, really, you know, helping everyone along their journey to playing their best golf.
And that is the idea. You can work with people, and the X's and O's your fitters generally have. What we can do is enhance the communication skills, showcase some new technologies in our products, and really learn the soft skills that take a fitter from good to great, and know that the fitters are taking all this knowledge and energy home to help golfers.
Well, what a treat this is. I'm with the man himself, Mr. Bob Vokey, the name behind the famous Vokey wedges. Sir, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time today.
My pleasure.
So my first question is, what's a good Canadian kid from Verdun? How did he end up designing wedges in the U.S.?
Boy, that is a long story. You know, it's just, I guess it's got to go right back to my dad. Dad was a foreman in this machine shop up in Montreal, and I never forget to spend all my summers with him. And remember my dad, I wanted to be a machinist, quit being a machinist. I was going to high school at the time, and he gave me the dirtiest jobs in the shop. And I realized I couldn't wait till September to go back to school. He kept me in school, but he always told me, he said, son, you got to turn around and find something that you have a passion for, that you love, or you'll never be a success. And trust me, I did starve for many, many years at a little old shop in Vista, California. I'm driving a Datsun B210, 295,000 miles on it, in a sleeping bag, and I used to have to sleep probably the weekends in the shop just so I could get all the work done, so I could keep the doors open of my little old shop. But I never forget those days.
What was the feeling like the very first time someone who was using your wedges won a major?
That was, you know, that's pretty good, but even just the first one going in play, which was Andy Bean, put the very first one in play, and it was one of my prototypes. And then all of a sudden another player sees it, and another player sees it, and that's where it is with professionals.
So it's all word of mouth?
That's how it started, all word of mouth.
Yeah.
All word of mouth, and having a product that fortunately it performed.
So today's players, you're in constant contact with them. They come here to TPI. Who's maybe the most fussy when it comes to their wedges, or who asks the most questions, I guess?
Jordan knows what he wants. You know, so he's I wouldn't call it fussy. He's particular, and you just do it that way. Another good and a great young player too is Justin Thomas. They want certain things.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about how important it is, just for the average player, the weekend warrior, to get properly fit for wedges?
No doubt about it, and that's one of the biggest. I get asked all the time. They expect a magic elixir. I'm going to say something. Mr. Vokey, what wedges do you think I need? And I say, I'm sorry, but what do I do? You have to go to a professional fitter, and they'll help you fit and put you in the right wedges that you need. So very important. Go and get fit. Oh, but I'm not good enough to be fit. Yes, you are. You definitely are, and you can improve your game. There's only last survey that I've seen, there's only 17% of the golfers in the United States have been fit for wedges.
Get fit for wedges.
Get fit for wedges. It's so important.
Pleased to be joined by Aaron Luttrell, product manager for Vokey wedges. You know, there's a bag full of wedges here. We have a lot of conversations about bounce and grinds. You know, take me through a little bit of the journey here to selecting the right ones.
Kind of the journey is why it's important to the player. So what grind allows you to do, bounce allows you to do, is dial in where you're going to make impact with that golf ball. So if you have the wrong grind or the wrong setup, you may hit more shots heavy, you may hit more shots thin. So the idea is, I think a lot of people want to know, well, what makes a wedge forgiving, or what would make a wedge forgiving for me? Because it's a tough thing. You know, you're trying to hit shots around the green, get up and down all the time. How do you do that? How do I make it easier? Well, one is to make the best contact possible with each of your wedges. And the second thing is, hey, do you deliver each of those wedges differently, and how do you utilize them? Great tool that we have is our wedge fitting app. What that helps you do is look at how that player delivers the golf club and what bounce or what grind would actually work well for them.
So the wedge fitting app is going to be available in our stores for you to come in and test. Using the app is going to help you select the right clubs for your game.
The idea is if you get a grind that allows you to make clean, consistent contact with the golf ball for how you're going to use it a majority of the time, that's a forgiving golf club and that's a good golf club. It's going to generate more spin and it's going to give you more control if you're hitting the proper part of the face each time.
All right, so what this speaks to is the importance of coming in to seeing one of our Golf Town Master Club fitters. So you need to come in and get fit. We're going to use the app and help you select the right clubs to play your best golf this year.
At TPI, it's all about making the player better, and technology is a huge part of that. Back with Steve, we are in a facility called the ARC. What's the ARC?
Hugh, thanks for asking. It's the Advanced Research Center we have here. We have 5 bays in total, 4 dedicated to golf, 1 to another sport, but we're in the biomechanic bay here. We study how the body moves and the body swing connection. So we have technology like here, like the force plates. So we're measuring kinetic movement, how the athlete uses ground force to create power and speed. And then we have motion capture system, a total of 16 cameras around the perimeter of the bay. It allows us to create a 3D image of the golfer, and then we start to measure the kinematic sequence of the swing and making those golfers more efficient.
Kinematic sequencing.
Yes.
What is that?
Yes. So over the years, we've studied the best players in the world, and the best players do something very similar. They use from the ground up to deliver their speed and the power to the golf ball. So we measure that through these motion capture systems. We're able to take a deeper dive in the consumer and our tour players and really study and kind of compare and contrast those to the best players in the world.
Well, Steve, I've got a baseball and a glove. What am I doing?
Great question, Hugh. So I'll preface this with we're not selling baseball or baseball bats here at Titleist, but with the biomechanical work that we've done over the years with golfers, we're doing the same thing with baseball players and actually other sport athletes as well. So similar technology in this bay. Force plates under the pitcher's mound, 2 of them, in fact. We have 2 more down at the batting cage, 1 for lefties, 1 for righties, and then 2 sets of the COULISSES camera, the motion capture cameras around the perimeter of the bay. Again, allows us to measure kinetic movement, ground force, and then 3D imaging, so we can take a deep dive into those athletes as well.
And how hard is it getting the baseball players off the driving range and vice versa?
Without a doubt, when they start here, the baseball players, all they want to do at the end is go hit golf balls and vice versa. The PGA professionals want to come in here and test their speeds at 100.
Okay guys, check out my fastball. Maybe I'll stick to golf. Let's talk T-Series irons. I'm with Marnie Inez. He is the Director of Product Development for irons for Titleist. Off camera, you gave me a really interesting stat that about 80-ish% of Titleist Tour Pros have blended irons in their bags. Why?
Why? It's because they see the performance benefits from all of our irons, right? And we really like to focus on what we call the 3Ds. So that's distance, dispersion, and descent angle, and trying to maintain certain distance gapping between irons, right? We want to have each iron go a very specific distance, and for every player, typically there's a point where either the gap or the height degrades in that long iron part of their bag.
What lends the T-Series to be able to be blended so easily?
Right, so we between these models, like we look a lot at the shaping, right? So when you're looking at them in a dress, we also look at the design as well. Of course, you want your clubs in your bag to blend nicely together, but most importantly, it's the performance, right? So each progressive model will allow a player to get a little bit more distance.
And what does the blending for a tour player allow them to do?
It allows them to get those distance gaps more appropriate. It allows them to see the flights that they want in that part of the bag that they need, right? Players historically have been very easy to switch into, say, a hybrid or a fairway and not have had the options to switch into a different iron model. But now with a line like T-Series, now you have options.
So we know what a blended bag can do for the tour players, and obviously just recreational players, the average player will also benefit from blending.
Absolutely.
As well.
So it benefits the less speed you have. Like tour players have a ton of speed, and you're seeing like 80%-ish of players blending their sets. So as you have less speed, there's more opportunity for you to blend the set, honestly. We do recommend that you go get fit at places like Golf Town and, get properly fit, and you'll probably end up playing, a couple different models of irons.
Yeah, blending is, if it's good enough for the pros, it's probably good enough for you. So we're inside Titleist's club manufacturing facility. It's over 100,000 square feet, almost 300 people work here. When you go to Golf Town and get fitted for Titleist clubs, all of your specifications are sent here, and this is where your set is put together.
This is the golf club headquarters for global club operations. We're here in Carlsbad, California. This is the main factory. We're building all the golf clubs in this part of the world for all of North America, so Canada, US, Mexico. We're just over 100,000 square feet under roof here, and we have 25 manufacturing cells inside of this facility, and then the other half of it, about the other third of it, is all of our component storage and all the things that we need to run the factory on a daily basis.
So in addition to all of the Titleist clubs and the Vokey wedges, this is also where they put together every single Scotty Cameron putter. It's like paradise for a Scotty fan. This is the Quality Assurance Lab. Titleist takes its quality control extremely seriously. What these engineers will do is they'll take products from random shipments and put them through a number of stress tests. Even things like head covers are put through an accelerated weather tester to test for things like sun exposure, UV exposure. This one didn't make the cut, so it's out of there.
So everybody on this production floor every day gets the pep talk of don't go fast, do it right. We want to make sure that we're taking the time, we're making the efforts, we're taking the strides to make sure that we're doing exactly what we need to do to execute that golf club at the perfect level.
Very happy to be joined by Austin Rawlinson. He is the Senior Director of R&D for Scotty Cameron Putters, and it is the 20th anniversary of the studio style putters. Happy anniversary.
Well, thank you.
What was the impetus to bring studio style back?
Well, a lot of it had to do with kind of the technology we put in this. So it was very much like what Scotty had done 20 years ago with the original studio style. Now it was bringing an insert into kind of a blade line of putters to really change the sound and feel of that impact. Back then he did it with GSS, we're doing it with studio carbon steel this time.
What is the advantage of a carbon steel insert?
Well, it's all about getting the right sound and feel. That's really important for golfers, especially tour players that we work with every day, for them to judge distance, to get distance control. It really has to have the right sound and feel. And so carbon was there. It's got great damping properties. It's going to absorb vibration. It's put in there with some vibration damping membranes to be able to isolate it from the stainless steel. And then we've got this great chain link milling pattern on there, which further kind of dampens that sound that you're going to hear at impact. The chain link was kind of inspired by an automotive grill, an Audi grill that you saw at one point. And so we decided to kind of mirror that on here, and it really achieves what we wanted to, is that it removes about 50% of the material from the surface. That's going to really quiet that impact sound, but look unique and cool doing it.
Lots of options in this line. Walk us through them.
Yeah, so this is the Newport 2. You can't have a Scotty Cameron blade line without a Newport 2. We made some changes to this design based on some tour feedback. So compared to Super Select of the past, can have a little thicker top line, a little deeper face, a little more balance between toe and heel. Direct comment from the tour. But it's going to still have that same classic Newport 2 Scotty Cameron look. Another new one that we brought in that we had in our B3 Limited line is the Catalina. And this is a really good example of how the line between blades and mallets is starting to blur a little bit. This is kind of taking that Newport Plus, taking the hosel out and putting more of a mallet mid-bend shaft in there. So it kind of gives a mallet setup, but an oversized Newport look to it. Okay. So this is a new fastback. And so what we did here was we took the fastback and basically increased the size of the head. We wanted to make it look, even though the original one was a mid-mallet, we wanted to kind of push it more into the larger mallets arena. And to dial in the weight of this, we have aluminum sole plate, and then these black pieces here are actually aluminum as well to take weight out of the design. Going to concentrate it not only in the ring, but front and back. And then the visual of that also creates a lot of perpendicular lines that the golfer can use to line up. And then we have a square back and square back 2, which is the same technology, same oversized head, ring weighting, but in more of a squared Newport 2 type shape.
Aussie, thank you so much for this. The studio style line of Scotty Cameron putters. There's something in there for everybody. All right, Kyle, we're about to wrap this up. Fantastic couple of days at Titleist.
Yeah, we had a great couple days here with a few of our club fitters across Canada to bring the knowledge back to the stores to help you find the clubs to play your best golf.
Yeah, and to find out which Titleist products are best for you, simply head to your nearest golf town and talk to one of our master club fitters.